No one dreams about spreadsheets or taxes when they first start their own business, especially a creative one. Unless you're an accountant who's finally answering your own creative calling. In that case, go you. But this video is probably not for you. Unfortunately, even a dream job comes with parts of the job that we don't like. No matter what you sell or how long you've been in business, we all have to manage your money. If you happen to be a creative who feels paralyzed at the thought of spreadsheets or managing your business finances, I'm here to tell you that 1, you don't have to torture yourself with spreadsheets, and 2, you can be competent with managing your own finances without pulling your hair out. I'm a creative at heart, but have worked in analytical jobs in tech for over 10 years. In my previous corporate life, I also went to business school and have been managing finance for my small business for the last 8 years. Because thanks to my Asian immigrant upbringing, I've tiger mawed myself into being comfortable with number crunching. But I'm here to help make it easier for you so that you don't have to do as much. So go ahead and scream into a pillow, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. I promise I'll make it as painless and even as fun as possible. In this video, I'm solely going to focus on bookkeeping, also known as keeping track of money coming in and going out of your business. Now, you might have heard the advice that it's something you should outsource from the beginning of your business, especially if you're not good at it or you hate doing it. But I want to challenge that. I think that it's actually really beneficial for you to have some firsthand experience in this because it's super important for you to be familiar with knowing where your money is coming in and going out. That affects your business cash flow, which could make or break your business. Now, bookkeeping is different from filing taxes. I'm all for hiring an accountant to do your taxes, and I've hired that out in the first year of my business. I've even paid a pretty penny for a tax consultant to advise me on the right way to set up a business entity and the different retirement savings options that's right for me as a small business owner. But you still need your bookkeeping to be in tip-top shape in order for your accountant to file taxes for you. All right, let's get into some basic but very important tips. First, I recommend keeping your personal and business finances separate. I know, it's tempting to just use the account that you already have for everything, but having a dedicated business account will save you so much headache down the road. Plus, it looks more professional to have a business account. A good starting point is to open a business checking account. Most banks, at least in the US, may require you to have an IEN number, an employer ID, for your business to open a checking account. That is what I did when I first started my business because I knew I was going to go all in. But if you're just doing this as a side hustle and you're not sure how serious to take it, you're more likely to be a sole proprietor. In that case, the bank may let you open an account with your social security number. That's a question you can easily get clarification on with your local bank branch. If that's not possible or the thought of having an official business account is intimidating and just gives you too much pressure, then you can always start a second checking account on top of what you already have. That way, at least your business money coming in and going out are kept in the separate account instead of having to dive through and trying to separate them at the end of the month or at the end of the year when you do taxes. Commingling your finances between personal and business will really complicate things down the road, so I recommend separating it one way or another. Next, you have to make a habit of recording your transactions regularly. This is where you might picture a giant spreadsheet with tabs and color-coded columns. Good news is there are a lot of software out there that are super easy to use and are really affordable. And you don't have to stuff receipts in a shoebox anymore because you can upload them digitally. But whether you're a spreadsheet master or are using a software, categorizing your income and expenses is key. Categorizing income means tracking all of your revenue streams so you don't just know how much you're bringing in, but where it's coming from. Categorizing expenses means putting your expenses into distinct buckets like art supplies, shipping fees, salary for yourselves, and so on. It might sound tedious, but it really helps when it's time to review the health of your business and when it's time to file taxes. And dare I say, it can actually be exciting when you see that you've hit your income goal. How would you know what your income goal is if you don't categorize them? As a creative, you're most likely generating income from multiple sources like commissions, freelance, selling merch, craft fairs, etc. Having that clear view of where your income is coming from will be hugely insightful. You might think it's no biggie in the beginning because you only have a few expenses a month, you're only doing commissions, and your spreadsheet is just this one little lonesome table. But once your orders or clients start growing, you're not going to have the time and energy to think about switching to a new platform or keep manually tracking it on a spreadsheet. This is also something you can do aspirationally, having the tool that will grow with you rather than something that is just doing the bare minimum. As for me, I started adding more income streams in year 2 of my business, but I also had my first child at the end of year 2. So there's no way I could keep up with the process this manual and have to figure out what to hand off to my accountant during tax season. And another important purpose for doing bookkeeping, besides filing taxes on time, is to monitor your business health or profitability. The profit of your business is when you subtract total revenue coming in by all of your expenses. The profit is the money that you get to keep at the end of the year. Keeping an eye on your profit, not just all the money coming in, helps you make smarter business decisions like whether to invest in a printer this year or setting aside money for retirement. Lastly, just as it's important to set personal financial goals, we should set financial goals for our business no matter how young it is. Maybe in the beginning, this is just a hobby or you just want to make some side hustle money, but even setting small goals like, can I make $300 this weekend at an art fair is a smart goal to have because you're going to have expenses associated with an art fair like that too. But there's more gray area with these type of financial goals, right? Say if you're just starting out, maybe your goal isn't purely financially driven, that you just want to learn. So even though you're not making a big or any profit from the first art fair that you attend, you might learn a lot that you can apply to future fairs that you go to. However small of a goal you set is a valid goal if it's the right one for the stage of your business. Short-term goals keep you motivated. Long-term goals help us plan for the future. Plus, it feels amazing to hit those milestones sometimes. Remember the part I said about ditching those spreadsheets? Now let's talk about the tools that will make you look and feel like a professional. I'm going to give 3 recommendations of accounting software that I personally use at different capacities for my business. And then this video is not sponsored by any of them. I just want to call out to what I like about each one. The first one is Wave, and it's one of my favorite. It's a fantastic tool for small businesses, not just creatives. It has a super user-friendly interface for non-finance people, so you don't need an accounting degree to figure it out. You can create invoices, track payments, scan receipts, and even connect your bank account for automatic transaction imports. One caveat is that the free version of Wave does not automatically import the transaction from your bank account, so you do have to manually import them from your bank, but that still beats using a spreadsheet by far and is much more accurate. The free version has basic features that could support your invoicing needs and the manual transactions, as I talked about. But later on, if you want to upgrade to a pro version, that's also very affordable. I used this in the first couple of years of my business when I was operating on a shoestring budget and found it easy to use as a non-accountant. They do charge for invoice payment processing. Let's say if your client needs to pay by credit card, and payroll services if you want to pay yourself through Wave. But those fees are pretty universal across all accounting softwares. They also offer accounting advisory services, which may come in handy if you need a bit of hand-holding to get everything set up correctly or just need one-off tax advice. My second recommendation is Freshbooks. I imagine a lot of creatives who start out on their own are doing multiple different types of work like freelance client work, custom commissions, and maybe selling a few of your art as merch or products to test traction there. FreshBook is pretty versatile in that it supports all your different income streams as you grow, But particularly with freelance work or anything where you have to bill by the hour or project, they have built-in time tracking tool that makes it easier for you to do that and to invoice your clients. It's a popular choice for an accounting software in the creative industry because of its simple and intuitive design. Freshbooks focuses on making billing, expense tracking, and time management easy, ensuring that you can spend more time on your creative genius and less time on bookkeeping. At the time of recording, they're offering a free 30-day trial, and you don't need to enter your credit card. So that's a pretty sweet deal. My third and last recommendation is Xero. Xero is a more robust tool and a great choice if you're looking for something that can grow with your business. Xero offers invoicing, expense tracking, billing, and even inventory management. Plus, it integrates with a ton of third-party apps. It's a bit pricier. Their plans start at $11 per month, but the detailed financial insights and scalability might be worth it as your business expands. Personally, I don't think it's something you need right off the bat unless you know for sure that you'll be making or manufacturing many products. Xero has inventory management features built in that will be helpful for tracking cost and material purchases. That was one of my incentives for signing up for Xero later in my business, but even to this day, I don't think I've used all the features fully. But it can support your business from the first dollar to $1 million. My favorite capability about these accounting software is that it saves me countless hours by syncing with my bank transactions so that all my expenses and income from my business are imported without me having to enter them manually. My second but equally favorite feature that's related to the first one is that if I do my job of importing my transactions and categorizing them correctly, all of this accounting software I mentioned above will be able to generate financial statements for me at any period of time, whether it's a year, multiple years, or a custom day range. So if you have been keeping track of your income and expenses on one of these accounting softwares, when it comes tax time, you can just generate a financial statement like a P&L, profit or loss statement. P&L is interchangeable with income statements, so when you hear either of those terms, they're pretty much the same. But these accounting softwares will generate this for you, which you will need to hand off to your accountant to do taxes. And that's an extremely valuable feature, not just for taxes, but also to inform you about the health of your business so you can quickly spot where you're spending too much money and which income stream maybe you need to work harder to optimize or maybe get rid of because you're spending too much time on it and you're just not making enough money from it. At least once a month, I like to look at the health of my business that way just to get a bird's eye view. This is an example of an income statement for a creative business that's downloaded from one of these accounting softwares. It would be pretty difficult to produce this by yourself if you don't have any accounting background, but like I said, it's great to have when it's built into one of these tools. Don't be afraid of numbers. Use them to empower your creative business, but you don't have to be enslaved by them. And use the right tools to your advantage. Bookkeeping doesn't have to be a nightmare. With the right tools and process, you can keep your finances in check and focus more on what you love, being creative. I hope this video was helpful. If you want me to dive deeper on anything I've mentioned here, let me know. This is kind of just an introductory video on bookkeeping, which is an important part of managing your business finances. So remember, you don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to take the next step. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.